Check. Hey, there we are. Okay, now we're back. Friends and family, sorry for the delay. Sometimes technology just gets a little bit ahead of us. But we are back. Thank you for everybody sticking with us. Eastern Washington taking on the University of Montana Grizzlies. One of these days, we'll start a broadcast the proper way, Gary.
Yeah, that's the only time I got anything right to start. So now it's all downhill from now. But what I was saying, last night's game was extremely entertaining. Both goaltenders played unbelievably well. It was a fascinating battle between the two. As long as Eastern plays like they did the first and third period, they'll give Montana everything they want. They just can't go on that low like they did in the second period last night.
Kaiser taking it all the way around the zone, finally put into the walls on the far side, tries to feed it back to Cheney, and now has to hustle back on defense for Eastern Washington. The Eagles, their third overtime game of the season last night, 0 for 3 in the extra period, but that extra point against three teams that I don't think they necessarily expected to take a point from coming into the game. You had UCLA, Utah, and then Montana last night. I know the team's pretty fired up, hoping to get another opportunity tonight to maybe add to their point total for the year, maybe get a win against these Grizz.
Well, I think getting the W is really important compared to, the goal differential for them, because somehow Eastern's got to get over that hump of splitting home games. And I talked about it last night. You want that split on the road, but you definitely don't want to keep doing that at home.
Face off back out at neutral ice. And you mentioned it. This is the last true home games of 2022 for Eastern Washington. Next week, the Eagles Nest Showcase. Bunch of teams in town. Tons of games going on. You can get your tickets at EWU.ACHA.com.
I'm looking forward to that showcase. I think it's going to be very interesting, especially some of the teams we haven't seen this year or in the past. So it'll be a good tournament.
Well, one team that we've had up here the last few years is Utah Valley, and they're always a fun team to watch.
And so Santa Rosa, they're up here too, aren't they?
Yeah, Santa Rosa's coming up here.
I remember them from last year. They were a pretty decent club. Wyoming, who I am intrigued with, I didn't even know they had a squad, and so that'll be interesting to see them play.
Grizz taking again in the center of the neutral zone, pushing it ahead, this time now to the left side to Troy Halla. Puck kicked right back out front, slapped away by Austin Kirby. Peru in net last night. Kirby getting the start here tonight.
And Kirby's he's going to have to be on his game, because the Grizz have some real sharpshooters. Last night, Smith was really solid for him. Dittman was really good. Ferreira was really solid for him. Lockridge he has a rocket of a shot. So Kirby's definitely going to have to be on his game for the Eastern.
And so far, stopped the first two shots that he's faced.
And he's capable. Kirby can play that style of game. He just has to make sure that he watches them, because Montana's really sneaky when they're down low. They like to do a two-person behind the net rotation, and that can really catch a goalie off guard if they're not really paying attention to it.
The Grizz win the faceoff in their own end. And able to bring it out into the neutral zone. Skating on the far side is Malkowski. He's going to circle around, take it back behind the net. Puck picked up on the far side. And now put into the wall in front of the doors on the far side. Now coming near side. Out into the neutral zone again, and here come the Grizz. gaining the blue line, passing it across the zone. And a good opportunity by Malkowski, but he can't hold on to it.
Well, Dinwiddie did an excellent job of really kind of making the Grizz player pass a little bit in front, and he didn't get to the puck. So Paxton did a nice job of breaking that up in essence.
Puck rolling back out into the corner. And we'll have the icing sent all the way back down the other side of the ice.
Let's have a very similar feel like last night's game. The first period, they were just kind of free-flowing everybody. Both squads were doing it, and then they settled down toward the end of the period, and it looks a lot like that's how they're playing tonight.
It was a big team for the Eagles, one of the better teams in the Western Division of the ACHA, with some wheels on the left side is Rainford. He passes that one back out front to Wagner. And back behind the net again, it goes Rainford. That one shot up and into the netting. But I think there was a little bit of hesitation amongst the whole club here, Gary, coming into this game, not really knowing what to expect from University of Montana and only being able to kind of compare it to teams that we've seen in this building.
Yeah.
And I think the Eagles really match up well against this team from what we've seen over the first 2 days.
They're very equal amongst themselves. And I think Montana came in pretty high because they'd had a really close game against University of Mary, which was the leader in the nation. I don't know now since Montana State beat them last night. But
well, and I think that's, you kind of glossed over that. That's a big win for Montana State. We talked about it when they when the Eagles played against the Bobcats, that team looks like it could be a national championship contender this year. And taking out a team like UMary, they're really making themselves known on a national level as Smith brings that into the zone, puts it out front. Thompson can't hold on to it. Tonight, Montana State down 0-2 after the first period, though. UMary coming back.
Well, you expected UMary to respond, but I was extremely impressed with Montana State. Every time I've seen them play, they're an outstanding club. And I think that helped the Grizz because they had such a close game against them. I think they brought that into last night's game. But Eagles played really well. And one thing I noticed last night, especially in the third period, even though Montana will throw the body, they weren't overly excited about Eastern going to that physicality of a game. And that really slowed them down. I'm hoping Eastern picks that up a little bit sooner than the third period tonight because it was causing some havoc for the Grizz.
Well, here they come with some speed, do the Grizz, as Frank, parallel to the blue line, chases it down into the corner. Still with the puck on his stick, looking for somebody in a maroon uniform. And here comes Lusk the other way. Near side, he's got Kaiser. Kaiser having to hold up right at the blue line and does so enough to keep the offside call, but can't keep his skates.
And don't get me wrong on that physical contact. Montana doesn't shy away from it, but that's how Eastern really slowed them down in the third period. Because the second period, they were just running wild, the Grizz were, and they went to the body in the third, and it really slowed Montana down. So that's what I was trying to get at. Montana will throw the checks, but you could tell Eastern that was a good play by them in the third period.
And some of that momentum carrying over. You always get kind of concerned after an overtime loss. What kind of momentum carries over to the next day? And it seems so far pretty even between these two clubs.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed last night. They were very equal with each other. And that was such a quick goal in that overtime last night. I think it got everybody, even in the stands, off guard on that one because it was just one of those goals that happened in overtime and you wouldn't see it. Most of the time that wouldn't have happened in a regular game. It just found a way to get through on the pipe and the pad.
Grizz back with it in the attacking end. Carrying the puck is Knutson. He's going to fire it off the glass behind the goal. And then it's back out into the neutral zone. Picked up again by the Grizz. Fed in by Ferreira. And now across the blue line to by Hendrickson. Eagles not able to get that back out into the neutral zone. And still fighting just to get possession of it. As chasing it back himself is Knutson. He's going to push it in just as he comes to the blue line. An easy touch shot there by Ferreira. And then he disrupts Hofacker as he's trying to come through the neutral zone.
That was a nice tape-to-tape pass off by the Grizz on that one.
Backhand pass out front. Eastern going to have to be careful of that because, as you said, Gary, they're chasing that puck back behind the net and then putting it right back out front. Kirby's great post-to-post.
We got some kind of little skirmish in the back here. Thompson was involved with it. And I'm trying to think in the Grizz, Jackson Knutson was involved with it. And it looks like he's the one that's going in the box. So Eastern will have a power play.
Their second penalty of the night for the Grizz. This one coming 9 minutes, 48 seconds of this first period. Did you catch what the infraction was, Gary?
At first he said it was like an interference, but then he changed his signal and I missed it. So right now the Lansing's over telling the coaches now they've got 2 people going in for Montana.
So looks like that second player is Tobias Robinson.
I don't know if he was commenting on how well he thought the officials were doing tonight, and that's what got him in the box there because he's not on the board.
Interestingly, Robinson is the one on the board, and Knutson is still in the box, so he may have gotten a 10. We'll see if we can get that from the scorers table.
Well, that'd be my guess, especially since he's not up on the scoreboard. So, but I thought he last night, Tyler, because Eastern played extremely disciplined hockey. They weren't in the box a lot last night, and that was a pleasant surprise.
Danger here as the Grizz bring it in, and that one deflected off of the shoulder of Austin Kirby as Lockridge tried to take advantage of a shorthanded situation. And I did notice that last night, and it's funny how when you stay out of the box, you're more successful against good teams.
Yeah, and they did a nice job. Yeah, the game got chippy, and there was some pushing and shoving and conversation. The Eastern did a really nice job of avoiding those penalties that were unnecessary. They did a really nice job of controlling themselves. And they had to, because the Grizz, they're definitely a team that builds off of momentum. So when they get a goal, that really sparks them. And that helped Eastern staying out of the box.
Best picks that up, is dumped down into the corner. And now coming the other way this time is Rainford. He's pushed off of the puck by Kaiser. Back behind the net goes Florko. This one put right out front, a spin around shot by Malkowski. Well handled by Austin Kirby. 1:06 left on this power play. You'd never guess that there was a player in the box for Montana over the last minute and a half or so.
No, Montana does a great job of attacking. They're similar to Eastern. They look to, even though they're shorthanded, they look to attack, and that's what they're doing right now.
Hendrickson puts that into the leg pads of Dinwoody. Now pushed ahead to Kaiser. Kaiser at the blue line. Trying to make one man miss, has Hunt out front, tried to feed the puck out there, bounced off of the skates of the defenseman. 32 seconds left on the power play. Now this one pushed ahead. Hunt sees it, slaps at it, can't get it off of the stick of Wilson. Now finally does. 21 seconds left on the minor penalty to Robinson. It's going to be a high dump down into the corner. Touched up by Wilson, so no icing. Wilson with some speed, going to try and carry it up, leaves it off for his own man in the corner. Then a big shot all the way down the ice, almost to the goal mouth. Penalty expires as the Eagles send that puck back behind their own net. Stretch pass broken up to Smith, but Smith is going to be the first one there. Feeds it out front, can't get it to Hofacker. Thompson at the top of the zone, looking for Hofacker again in the slot. This one's going to come near side, and bringing it up the close wall is Robinson. And Kaiser going to cover that up. Robinson and Thompson tied up at the tail end of that play, and they're going to get Thompson for a hook here. And still sitting in the box is Knutson, so that must have been an unsportsmanlike penalty. He's going to take a seat for half the period.
He must have really complimented the officials on their game calling tonight.
And we do have confirmation. He was assessed a rough and an unsportsmanlike. So Robinson serving his unsportsmanlike. Eastern Washington now in the penalty box for the first time tonight as Thompson going to take a seat for a hook. So the Eagles, their first time on the penalty kill, 12-18 into this contest. And the way the Grizz have been playing in this one, the Eagles going to have to stand strong here. And as I say that, Grizz send it all the way back to their netminder, Hill. And they'll look to reset. Bring it up the near side wall. Easy touch off to Balk. He's got a man out front in Morrison, and instead he's just going to circle the zone. He's going to go near side now to Malkowski. Fires that one from distance, bangs off of the cage of Austin Kirby.
Kirby is definitely on top of his game tonight. He's made some outstanding saves. And that's what he's going to have to do, keep Eastern in this.
And another big kick save by Austin Kirby. His 8th save of the period. Chasing it into the corner is Perrick. He's going to lay it off for his own man. Back to Perrick at the top. He's going to go across the zone. Now easy feed back close. One-timer opportunity from his knee by Lee. And Kaiser takes that one away. Looking to skate it down the ice with 43 seconds left on the penalty kill. Has that one slapped away at just the last second. Had beaten Perrick to the corner. But Perrick got a stick right around Kaiser. Now 30 seconds left on the penalty kill.
Yeah, Perrick definitely used his height on that one because he has a long reach, and he just went right around Kaiser's hip. And that was a nice play by him.
Back with it now is Hendrickson. He's going to lay it off the near side wall. Lusk was the first player there, but he had his pocket picked by Smith. Somehow still with the puck are the Grizz as Frank takes it to the far side. Near side now to Tihala.
Nice glove by Kirby on that one. He was partially screened on that. And that's one thing the Grizz will do. They will plop one or two players right in front of the goaltender to block his view. They did that a lot last night. And Carew did an outstanding job of looking around that. And right now, Kirby's doing the same thing.
And getting ready to exit the box is Sam Thompson. 2 seconds left on the power play for the Grizz. They'll look to control this faceoff, and they do. Quick shot, and out of the box comes Thompson. He heads straight to the bench. Cortez off of the bench, can't handle that puck. Now just trying to get it into the neutral zone and can't get it past Frank. Grizz going to try something else, come near side to Ferreira. And off of his body, it back into the neutral zone. Ferreira goes through his legs and out of the far side. Ferreira takes that shot, kicked away by Kirby. But Kirby punches that out into the corner as it comes across the crease. Waiting for it up top is Toyala. And another shot by Ferreira. So as he's crashing the net, under 5 minutes to play. Shot taken well off of the glass behind the net, but it bounces all the way back above the net towards the top of the zone. Now Flood looking to make a couple of guys miss. Has it taken off of his stick by Ferreira. Flood looking to take it, get it back out into the neutral zone. That's where he goes, just a couple of inches away from Hunt, who lifts the Grizzlies stick and then chases it back out behind his own net. This one ahead to Hunt. He's got some speed across the blue line. Trailing is Smith. Hunt takes an odd angle shot, gets it kicked away. Eagles getting a full line change on as Hunt took that one into the zone. Back out into the neutral zone with 4 minutes to play. Taken right off of the stick of Dittman by Smith. And the chaos going to lead to an offside call. 3:48 to play in this first period.
Smith did that really well last night. He was a major disruptor to the Grizz. Neutral zone, their zone, he was all over the Grizz players that had the puck. He played a solid game last night.
Dinwiddie fires that off the near side wall, picked up by Wilson for the Grizzlies. This one floated just slightly ahead to Kaiser. He's got Lusk on the far side. Kaiser has it taken off of his stick as he makes a cut towards the goal. Had Lusk on the far side. Next time down the ice, hopefully he'll take a peek to that far side post. This one sent straight through the center of the defense. Chasing it all the way down and getting a shot off was Orlick. And now Kaiser again. He's got one man to beat, one on his back. He's got Lusk looking for that far post, calling it for the far post. And Kaiser loses it and is smashed into the boards, into the far corner. Fans here calling for a boarding. Kaiser going to get back up, skate towards the other end of the ice. Hopefully getting back to the bench under his own power there. Backhanded shot out front. A little bit of chaos here, and the Eagles able to corral it at least for the moment. Grizzlies still in possession. Near side, now back up top to Morrison. Florco looking to throw the hip. Gets it fed right out front that time to the Grizzlies to Hamlin, and now it's back down on the low wall to Perrick. And that one has cleared the length of the ice. 2:18 to play in this first period.
What the Grizzlies do really well, they're relentless on their forecheck, and then they try to get Eastern running around, which that's what's happening for the last couple minutes. They do a really nice job of floating two guys down. They do a low-high game, and it's really hard if you don't start using the belt and then to slow them down on that one. Right now, they got Eastern running around.
A little scatterbrained, and Kirby didn't see that. A good duck by Malkowski out front, screening the goalie and getting out of the way in just a nick of time.
But you'll notice that if you want the Grizz do that constant, they'll always have one guy, possibly two, that are trying to screen the goaltender.
Grizzlies bring it up the near side, just out of the reach of Perrick. And then Morrison going to chase it all the way back down behind his net. Actually, it's going to hold up in the corner where Wagner turns it back up the ice. Slapped away at the blue line. A little bit of neutral zone hockey going on between these two teams. Grizz finally with possession across the blue line. And taken away about 15 feet into the zone. Another big save by Austin Kirby as that one just slapped right into the leather. Hofacker just a step too late there. Can't get it past Wagner.
I'm telling you right now, Kirby is definitely on top of his game tonight because he's facing major shots.
Well, you've got to be on a team when you're playing a team like the University of Montana, who's only been held to 5 goals 4 times this season, including last night. 2 of those times a shutout. So if the Grizz find the back of the net, more times than not, they're going to do it multiple times during the contest.
And that's why I think this first goal is really going to set the tempo for the rest of this game by whichever team scores it.
The Grizz doing their best to do it here at the conclusion of the first period, under 30 to play. Picking the puck out of the pile is Lee. Shot taken, blockered straight down by Kirby. Now Smith with it, looking to get it through the zone. Couple of Eagles players end up on top of each other. Shot taken from the far side, pushed over into the corner, less than 10 seconds to go. Grizzlies with the momentum here at the end of the period. Eastern just trying to make it to the locker room, keeping the score as it is, and it looks like they're going to be able to. Mitch Hunt, very headsy play there, seeing the chaos, taking the puck, tucking it into the corner, and holding on to it as they kill out this period. But back-to-back nights, Gary, these two teams taking a tie into the locker room.
Yeah, it's really kind of a mirror image, except Montana in the last 2 minutes of this period looked like they did in the second period. They were just relentless on their attack. Eastern can counteract that easily by settling down, playing a little bit more wide open, and starting to use the body. They'll be fine in the second period.
We'll be back to see if the Eagles can find the back of the net in that second period as we sit level 0-0, Montana and Eastern. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center. We've got a good one here between the Eagles and the Grizz. Two schools that are fairly familiar with themselves from the football field, but the first time the Grizz have been in this building in a decade. And last night, they made it worth it for the fans that came out. Loss in overtime tonight after the first period, all knotted at 0, and the fans here are excited. A decent turnout for a Saturday night on a Halloween weekend. Some Halloween weekend hockey here in Cheney. Gary, you've seen 4 periods so far between these two clubs. What are we expecting here in P2?
Well, what I'm hoping Eastern will go to, what they did really well in the third period last night, they went to the body, and that really slowed down Montana. Because right now Montana's gaining some momentum because they're kind of walking in on Eastern zone. So hopefully Eastern will start going back and start taking the body to them and slow them down, and then will open themselves up. But it's been an entertaining game, just like it was last night.
Kirby with the glove hand went in and out of the glove, and then he lost it in the crease. And a good recovery by the Eastern Washington defenseman.
But it's nice to see Kirby having such a strong game tonight because you can tell each game he's gaining more confidence, and he's really doing a nice job.
Puck kicked right up on top of the net. Hunt looking to feed it out front. Can't get it any further than the side of the cage. And sitting in the box for the Grizz, their number 2 scorer, I believe, Knutson. That one lifted just up and over the top of the cage. So he's got a few more minutes to hang out.
He's just doing some reflection time. That's what he's doing. That's okay.
But interestingly, they still have him in the box because he was assessed a 2 and a 10, and he has been in the box for, well, I guess my math was off. He's been in the box for 11 minutes and 2 seconds. So most likely, unless there's a quick stoppage, the next stoppage, Knutson will be able to exit that box. But here come the Eagles through the neutral zone. And losing his skates right at the top of the crease was Hunt. Almost takes out Hill and ends up in the back of the net himself. Mitch Hunt dressed up as a puck on Halloween Saturday.
That happens that's because Mitch is such a strong skater. He goes right to the net, and sometimes he'll lose his edge on that, and that's why you see he did that last night too. But that's just because of how strong of a hockey player he is. He just goes for it, and sometimes the edge doesn't work for him. But that's a nice costume of puck. That was a good one, Tyler. I haven't heard that one before, so that was excellent.
Yeah, it looks like Hunt may have taken a chunk out of the blue paint there in front of the net. The Grizz trying to cover that up. See if they can fix whatever gash there was from the skates of Mitch Hunt, the hockey puck.
But it's been really interesting how both nights the goaltending has been outstanding for both clubs. Hayes last night for the Grizz and Carew for Eastern. And then tonight Kirby is playing extremely well, and so is Jackson Hill. So it's nice when you have a goaltender's battle, and that really gives confidence to the team, knowing that, okay, we can do some things, take a few gambles because our netminders are playing so well. Very interesting out of both squads, and it must have been a major chunk that the puck took.
Well, they're in there trying to cover it up. As a player, Gary, you get out of the locker room, you're pumped up, you play for 1:29, and then you have to stand around for a couple of minutes. What's that do to your mindset?
It slows you down. You got yourself geared up, you're ready to go. You come out, have a quick shift, and then all of a sudden there's a delay. And this is a rather lengthy one. And so it does hamper some players, and it'll be interesting who will adjust the quickest on that. But a lot of times if you see like Eastern, what they're doing a nice job of, they're keeping their legs moving so they don't stiffen up. So that's nice to see. that they're moving around and making sure they're ready to go when the puck gets dropped. But yeah, it does take a little effect, and it'll take a minute or two to get yourself back into that momentum in your mind.
We'll have to wait and see if that has any impact on low pucks heading towards Jackson Hill's net. If you're Eastern Washington, you want to test that pretty quickly, right? Get a puck on his pads right at the top of the crease.
Yeah, see what happens. See if he's stiffened up at all. So yeah, any kind of shot you can get on him, see if he's going to give up a rebound and then just jump on it.
This one's sent to the center of the zone, but nobody there in a white uniform. So here come the Grizz the other direction. Picking it up across the blue line was Lee. A huge slap shot from just outside the slot. Looked by Lockridge. Eastern Washington doing a good job of cleaning up these rebounds from Kirby. And I think you mentioned it a little bit, Gary, that he's getting better game by game every time we see him in there. But I think that also goes for his partners on the blue line. They're understanding that he stops that first shot, but the puck's probably still in play. And they're doing a really good job of getting it away from the crease, which isn't something we saw in the first few games.
No, and that's just getting used to your netminder. I mean, they were used to playing with Crew for the most part, and then Kirby came in who has a whole different style, and it will take about 4 or 5 games for the defenseman to get used to, okay, this is what they want. And you see that tonight. And last night they were doing a nice job with Crew, too, on the rebounds, but they're getting used to Kirby now the more he plays.
That one off the wall, not any further than the blue line, as Frank tried to keep it in and just couldn't. He's going to let that one sit right there in the middle of the attacking zone, and we will bring the action right out in front of us with a puck drop in neutral ice.
One thing I noticed, the Grizz have made an adjustment. Their forechecking really picked up, and so that means their offensive pressure is going to be relentless like it was all game last night, but their forechecking has definitely stepped up so far in this period.
Eagles back with it in their own end. Carew passes it ahead to Cortez. Hofacker chasing that down into the corner. He's the first one there. Playing the body was Ferreira of the Grizzlies, and now the puck pinned up against the wall. 2 red uniforms, 2 white uniforms, and the red uniforms coming away with it. Grizzlies with speed down the ice. Wilson, just as he gets to the blue line, shot taken by Hamlin. And this time Kirby sees it, holds on to it, and with 16:41, we'll have another stoppage and a face-off on the Eastern Washington end of the ice.
There's no question the Grizz have decided just to go for it. They did this yesterday. They would start floating 4 people on top of the netminder, and that's what the kind of style they went to now also. So they have 1D back, 4 up front, see if they can get something snuck in behind Kirby. And good thing Kirby's on top of his game.
Eagles taking that face-off, still in their own end, trying to get it out into neutral ice, get it as far as Lusk. Lusk going to feed it to the far side. Blue line shot knocked straight down. Florco keeps it in for Eastern Washington. Lusk has it go between his legs and can't get enough of it. Best trying to chop it back to his own man, almost giving a breakaway there to Lockridge. The Eagles recovering now through the neutral zone. Kaiser across the blue line. Takes his shot, gets it tangled up in the skates of Simon Wilson, who now has the puck across the blue line, has it knocked off at the last second by Dinwoody, looking to feed it out front, gets it up to the top of the zone to Morrison. Morrison now with it, couple steps out in front of the net, chasing it down into the corner is Ferreira. Battle for the puck in the corner. There to clean it up are the Grizz. Back with it is Morrison. Montana feeding it over to the far side. Right out front now, poked away. Morrison going to clean it up, takes that shot, blockered into the corner by Austin Kirby. Morrison back with it, playing quarterback on this play, setting everything up from the top of the zone. Puck fed back to him again, down into the near side corner. And this one into neutral ice. Chasing it back this time is Wagner. He's going to push it ahead. And now an opportunity to walk on in is Dylan Ferreira. Everybody in an Eastern uniform lost Dylan on the way in. And he's going to find the back of the net 4 minutes, 59 seconds into the second period.
Yeah, Dylan came in on the far boards off of that one. And you're right, Eastern lost. And Floker did a nice job of trying to recover off that because he was in the middle of the circles, and he did a nice job of almost getting to him. But, yeah, Eastern just kind of lost track of him.
We'll see who they give an assist to, and it looks like it's going to go to Hamlin. The Grizz looking to take advantage of this momentum swing as they were the first ones on the board tonight. Eastern had that luxury last night. But again, something about this second period, Gary. Eastern Washington a little bit snake bit.
Well, they seem to go in a little lull during the second period. And right now, the Grizz are just, their attack is just relentless on Eastern. And again, they're putting that one guy in front of Kirby. He's trying to block his vision, and they're doing a really nice job of creating some havoc for him. But their attack, their forecheck is incredible right now.
That goal officially coming 4:59 of the second period. Ferreira from Hamlin to put the Grizz up by 1, but now Eastern Washington a chance. Smith looking to go across the ice, puts a little air underneath that one and gets it over the stick. Hunt walks right in on that. But now heading the other direction are the Grizzlies. Montana with it. Building up a play themselves. On the far side, holding it up is Ferreira. He's the goal scorer, looking for the wraparound, and Kirby does a good job of shutting the near post door. Grizz take it back out into the neutral zone, off of the wall. Playing it down low to Florco. Walking it out front and having it taken off of his stick is Toyhala right at the last second. Florco doesn't see the second Grizzly player there, and now Montana's still in possession. This one rimmed around. Cortez going to chase it down low, but the first player there is Liner. Shot taken from distance. Missed just wide. Now off to the far side. Giving chase for the Grizzlies is Will Smith. It's going to get popped back up top to Ferreira, who's going to send it back down into the corner. Grizz maintaining possession here, almost like they've got an extra skater out there. Eastern doing everything they can, finally back out into the neutral zone. But the Grizz looking to reset again and turn back around. Hendrickson can't get it any further than the Eastern player, and it bounces back in as Knutson going to chase it back down. Out of the box is Knutson. He's going to bring it up the near wall. Actually has it taken off of his stick. Now he's calling for it at the blue line. Couple of white jerseys in front of him. He leaves it off for Toyhala. That one just wide of the net. Got it past Austin Kirby. Shot taken from distance. Kicked away by Kirby. Picked up again. Ferreira looking for that shot from distance through traffic. He's got a man down in the corner, just feeding the puck. Almost like they were at practice. 2 or 3 times there. Puck bounced right over into the corner, then back up to Ferreira at the top of the zone. Now here comes Lusk. Lusk has Best in the middle. He's going to take that shot right into the logo of Jackson Hill for Jackson's 9th save of this contest. 11:52 left in the second period.
Well, what University of Montana's doing really well right now, they're getting the Eagles to run around, chasing the puck rather than really kind of keeping their position, and they're attacking. They're going, and their transition's really, really solid because they'll go to a 1-4.
Kaiser fed that backhanded right out front to Best.
Or then they'll shift back to a 2-3. And so they're really shifting up their alignments, all their lines right now, and that's kind of keeping Eastern off guard a little bit.
But there they go again. 3 players crashing that puck, able to take it away. And Lee with it, chases it down into the near side corner. He's knocked off of the puck. Now this one back up top. Shot and a goal from the slot right up close. And it looks like that was Owen Lee. The Grizz scoring again just a few minutes after their first. This goal coming 8:51 of the second period.
Well, again, it goes back to what Montana's doing. This time they flooded two guys on top of Kirby. He couldn't see the shot at all. And right now, the Grizz are doing a really nice job of putting a lot of pressure on Eastern. And Eastern just needs to get back playing positional hockey and not chasing the puck so much, because that's what Montana wants them to do. And they got Eastern right now balled up. Real similar to yesterday's second period. And then Eastern came back and spread it out more, and they took control in essence of that game. And I'm expecting them to do the same thing, but hopefully they'll do it sooner than waiting for the third period.
They had a great opportunity right before that goal with the Kaiser pass out front to Best, and just not able to hold on to it. That goal officially 8:51 of the second period, Lee from Balk and Frank. So the Grizzlies now up by 2 as we tick towards the midway point of this game. Hunt going to take a shot from distance into the blocker. The one thing we still haven't seen yet, Gary, is anybody from Eastern testing the top of that crease to see if Hill can handle that puck. Yeah, we'll have an icing. And the Eastern going to get a chance to try and make that happen as they'll get a face-off on Montana ice.
Well, there's about 3 things Eastern could do, and they got the talent to do it. Is 1, play positional hockey. 2, spread out a little bit more. And 3, starting to use the body a little bit more to slow down the momentum Montana has right now. And if they do that, they'll be fine. But they're going to have to start picking that up, those 3 phases.
They've got half a game left to do so. As Cortez and Hofacker trying to get it past Morrison. Can't do so. Now back out into neutral ice. This time Hofacker makes his presence felt with the body.
And that's what Tank does really well. And that's if Eastern can do that, they'll take control again like they did yesterday. They just need to start banging a little bit on these guys and see if they can shake them up, slow them down.
And that does seem to be the one difference in this period is Eastern isn't throwing the body around at all, even in their defensive zone. They seem to really be trying to play the puck. Shot blockered away by Kirby again. Looking for that wraparound was Ferreira. It's kicked out to the near side. Taking a couple of steps towards the goal. Slapped straight down by Kirby. And nobody there to clean it up. As 3 quick goals for Montana has changed the complexion of this game dramatically.
Well, see, and you mentioned it just before that goal happened. Eastern, they're not using their body against the Grizz, and that's how the Grizzlies got in that goal. Eastern's trying to play finesse, and if they would start using more of the physicality, they could slow Montana down, but the Montana player just went right in because Eastern was trying to use their stick instead of the body on them.
That goal coming officially at 11:02 of the second period. Orlick unassisted. So 3 goals for the Grizzlies, 3 different goal scorers. That one kicked away. We'll see who's headed to the box. Looks like it's going to be William Smith.
Going to hit him with a slash, it looks like. And here's a golden opportunity for Eastern to get back in this hockey game.
So Smith going to take a 2-minute timeout with 8:36 to play in this second period. You're right, Gary. If the Eagles want to stop the bleeding, this is the best way to do it.
Well, a bill of confidence up too. They seem to be a little shy on now even shooting, and I'm not used to seeing Eastern do that because they got some people that have rockets for shots. So hopefully they'll take advantage of this power play.
Face-off won by the Grizzlies. Hunt corrals that, takes one right in the midsection. A little slow to get to the bench, but it seems like he'll make it there under his own power. Kaiser going to chase that back behind the net. He plays it ahead. Rubbed off of the puck was Florko, but just for a moment, Hofacker able to hold on to it, and now Lusk with it. Even when they maintain possession, Eastern looking a little disjointed out there.
They're a little scattered right now. There's no question about that.
Lusk taken down by Knutson. Florco still able to hold on to it. Pushed up ahead. And now sent over to the far side. Lusk pins it up against the wall with his skates, has it taken right off, but sent to Kaiser. And now Lusk looking to make one-man miss, has it taken away from him. And Hofacker picks it up at his own blue line. Now gains the Montana line, takes a shot, bounced out into the corner. Nobody there in a white jersey to help pick that one up. Genie sends that one back in behind the net. Less than a minute left to play on the power play for the Eagles. Looking for that stretch pass are the Grizz, and just out of his reach for Knutson. Eastern not able to make these tape-to-tape passes in this second period, and that seems to really be what's kind of holding them up, is just the inability to maintain possession, even when there's no Grizz around.
Yeah, they're just not in sync for whatever reason this period. First period, they looked good. They were holding their own, doing well, doing some nice tape-to-tape passes. And this period, they just really seem to be just disjointed for some particular reason. And they're really scattered right now. And I'm not used to seeing Eastern play this way.
The Grizz really have them back on their heels. Now back through the neutral zone. Carrying it towards the goal mouth is Ferreira. He's already got one tonight. I don't think the Eagles have had a shot on net during this power play, Gary. That one held on to by Austin Kirby. 13 seconds left before Smith for the Grizz leaves the box.
But I think you hit it on the head. The Grizz have the Eagles on their heels right now. They're not sure what they want to do right now. So best thing for Eastern right now, if they can't score on this power play, is get in and make some major adjustments in the second period and get back to their attacking style of hockey that I'm really used to watching them play. Because there's no question they have the talent to do it. They just have to get and regroup and start attacking.
Now a chance here for Kaiser. He's got a man in the center looking for that shot, looking for the deflection maybe over to Lusk. But that one blockered up into the netting. Penalty expired, 6:31 in the second to play. And we'll have another face-off in the Grizzly end of the ice. This one won by the Eagles as Dinwiddie heavy hands it down back behind the net. This one sent towards the goal mouth. Giving chase was Rainford. The Eastern Washington defense holding on tightly. Now back all the way out to Wilson. He's going to have to chase it towards his own net. He's going to play it near side to Dittman. Now Wilson looking to use his speed to bring it up the far side. Under 6 to play in the second.
There's no question the Grizz have thrown defense to caution in the wind and just decided this period we're just going to attack them at all costs, and it's working for them right now.
It has through the first 15 minutes of this period, 14 minutes of this period. The Grizz have done a good job of controlling this game.
Well, they're keeping Eastern out of position, and that's what's really helping the Grizzlies right now. Eastern just needs to settle back in.
Smith with a cross-ice pass to Lusk. He tried to return the favor, and it's kicked away by the Grizzlies. Now Smith looking to turn it back towards Lusk for Eastern Washington and can't. Hofacker trying to catch up to Rainford. And picking up the puck was Dittman there. Dittman feeds it up top now. Shot taken, kicked away, now onto the far side. Shot taken, far post, goal by Case Balk. Casey Balk with his second point of the night. Got an assist on the lead goal earlier in this period. The wheels are starting to come off for Eastern Washington, and they've got to stop the bleeding here quickly.
Well, Balk did a nice job of really using the Eagles defenseman has a screen on Kirby, and he went up top shelf because Kirby started to go down butterfly to see if he could see it, and he got the top shelf. Nice job by the Grizzlies.
Under 5 to play in this second period. Grizzlies on the attack again. We mentioned it off the top, Gary, that last night was one of only 4 times the Grizzlies have been held to less than 5 goals this season. Eastern doing a really good job yesterday. Right now, Montana already at 4 with 25 minutes left to play in this one.
Well, it's like a shooting gallery right now on Kirby. They're just peppering him with shots, and Eastern just has to regroup, get back into positional hockey, like I keep saying. But that's what's really hurting them right now, because the Grizz, they're just making them run around because they went to an offensive-minded game second period, and it's worked really well for them. You can see the shot differentials, 29 for the Grizz and 12 for the Eagles, so they're definitely tuned up their offensive attack on Eastern.
Really, it seems like the entirety of this period, minus maybe 25 seconds of ice time, has taken place in the Eastern Washington end. And in the second period, with this long change, that's tough to get new skates on the ice. As I say that, Eastern goes for a wholesale line change.
Let's see, again, right there, Missoula split the 2 defensemen, and they almost got another breakaway off of that.
Now here comes Kaiser looking to turn the corner past the last defenseman and right into the glove. A trailing look there by Kaiser, but well read by Jackson Hill as Kaiser kind of left that one back behind him and tried to sneak it in past the goaltender. He said, "Nuh-uh, that's mine." Yeah,
Hill's played really, really solid tonight. And so has Kirby, though. There's 4 goals against him, but I think they were all legit goals. There wasn't anyone that I could think of that Austin would say, okay, I should have had that one. They just did a nice job of their shot selections.
Well, you mentioned it through the first 2 periods. Kirby already with 25 saves.
Yeah.
That's quite a few shots through just 26 and a half minutes.
Well, if you notice what the Grizzlies are doing, too, they're taking advantage of the openness of the neutral zone. Eastern needs to clamp down a little bit on that and try to throw the body and slow down Montana on that one. But so far, everything Montana's doing is working.
Best wins the faceoff for the Eagles. Kaiser takes that shot immediately from the top of the circle, bounces into the air, and now the Grizzlies back in possession, heading down the ice again. This one chopped into the corner. Florko doesn't realize he's got a man on his back and almost able to pick his pocket was Robinson.
Well, and that's that forechecking and by the Grizz. They're not slowing down at all. They've decided to go to this style, and they're keeping it up.
Chasing it to the right side is Morrison. He's got it on his stick. A couple of steps towards the center, knocked off of his twig by Florko. Somehow able to keep that one as Morrison. He's going to try his chances from the other side. And another turnaround shot from the slot. This time by Malkowski. And Eastern Washington is going to have to start laying the body in the offensive zone, because the Grizz, now for the 3rd time tonight, have just had a spin around shot 15 feet from the top of the crease, and there's nothing Austin Kirby's going to be able to do about those.
No, not at all. And again, you hit it on the head, is they got to start taking the body. They're trying to stick check them, and it's not working. Montana's too quick to play that style of game. They're going to have to start using their body to slow them down. I know we're harping on that a little bit, but just watching how they're playing it is everything right now. Eastern's attacking, trying to be stick checks, and Montana's just walking right by them.
Dinwiddie rims that around to the near side. Nobody there in a white uniform. And now here comes Thompson. Gains the center stripe, gains the blue line. Down into the corner, he's got Nelson on the near side. And a backdoor goal on Eastern Washington, and the wheels have absolutely come off here in the second period.
Well, again, on that play right there, what the Grizz did. They ended up sending 4 guys in. Eastern tried to stick check him. They did a nice little tape-to-tape pass, and the guy had a wide open shot. And they just can't play that style against the Grizzlies. They'll just you can see that in this period. That's what Montana wants them to do. And so far, Eastern's not counteracting that. And they're going to have to do that in the third period. They're going to have to start throwing the body around. But again, I'd tip my cap to Montana. They changed coming in the second. They decided strictly we're going to go offensive attack. And
it has worked out for them so far.
Worked really well for them.
All 6 of their goals coming within about 13 minutes of each other. Ofacker with the forecheck pressure now. Able to win the puck, at least for the moment, for his team. Eastern able to get a shot on net. That one sticked up into the netting. And Hill wisely poking that one away from the top of the crease, not allowing them to get into what could be some rough ice there. That last goal officially coming 17:55 of the second period. Smith from Knutson. Puck won by Eastern, sent back behind the net. 1:20 left in this second period. Florco overskates that one. They're back with it as Casey Balk. Wilson shot from the top of the zone, kicked away by his own man down into the corner. Frank for the Grizzlies leaves that one, has to come back to pick it up. Now he goes right around the outside of Austin Kirby. Kirby basically alone out there in this second period.
Yeah, the Grizz are just walking in on top of him now on that one right there. It was basically 2-0 without an Eastern player by them. The Grizzlies are just doing an outstanding job of an offensive attack, and that's their mindset. That's worked well for them. They got 6 goals this period doing that style. And it's not, again, these goals are not anything that you could fault Kirby on. They're excellent shots. Montana's just been relentless on their attack, and they're not letting up, which is impressive.
Under a minute here to play in this second period. Another misstep on defense for Eastern Washington. Not sure if it's tired legs or what, but this is very uncharacteristic of Eastern Washington. Not throwing the body around, not getting the stick to the puck on defense. That one stopped by Kirby and then kicked away. Won by the Eagles, at least out into the neutral zone. And now Cheney just slaps at that in frustration as the Eagles going to take a 0-7 deficit into the locker room. Wheels coming off of the Eagles into that second period, but we'll see if they can come back in the third and add a couple to the back of the net. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the third period between the Eagles and the Grizzlies. If you took that second period off, sure seems like the Eastern Washington defense did too. They gave up 7 goals in that second period and now have an uphill battle in the final 20 minutes. Gary, what do you think went wrong in that second period for Eastern Washington?
Well, kind of like what we were talking about in the second period. We're kind of both stunned because we haven't seen Eastern play like that all year with the talent they have on this squad. They just sat back. It just seemed like they were waiting for the Grizzlies to attack, and the Grizzlies abided by it, and they were relentless on their pressure. But I see Eastern's made a goalie change. Brendan Cruz in net for Eastern, but yeah, Eastern totally went away from their style that works for them, the openness, anticipatory hockey, and using the body. And it worked for them last night because the Grizz really had trouble with it when Eastern was banging on them. And for whatever reason tonight, Eastern's went away from it.
Well, they'll have to keep throwing the body in this third period if they want to have an opportunity to come back. Something about second periods and Saturday nights for Eastern Washington this year just have been kind of their downfall. There's a big hit in the corner. And Eastern doing exactly what you talked about, Gary, just throwing the body around as Thompson laying a big hit on Morrison, almost sending him into the Eastern Washington bench. Now Thompson feeds it into the center of the zone. Nobody there in an Eastern Washington uniform.
Well, by throwing the body, it sends a message to the Grizzlies like, okay, we made an adjustment. We're going to go with the style that we play really well at. And it slowed down Montana yesterday quite a bit. So right now, Eastern's opening up, hitting people.
Now looking to go around the outside of Eric's. That time was Frank for the Grizzlies. Eastern again just trying to play this kind of semi-dump and chase game out of their zone and not able to maintain possession. Kicked away by Carew, his first save of the night.
Which that style will work if you want to go with it, but you got to make sure someone's in that neutral zone waiting for the pass. And so far they haven't happened, but we'll see if Eastern will continue to use the body. And I know that will definitely slow down the Grizz.
Cheney pushed that one ahead just past the stick of Frank Flood, and now back into the Eastern Washington end to go the Grizzlies. Spent about 90% of the second period in the Eagles' end of the ice. Now out into the neutral zone. Hofacker on the right side. He's going to get knocked off of the puck, and it's going to squirt towards Cortez. Frank from the Grizzlies there to hold on to it. Squirts away, at least for a moment, down to the near side wall where Lee picks it up. This one's going to rim around to the far side. And tripping up there was Wilson. He's going to head back to the bench. The Eagles with the puck. Hofacker trying to push it ahead. Runs into the referee on the near side. Florko looking to use the body. And that'll be offside, slowing down Morrison right at that blue line.
But what worked on that one right there, Eastern went to the body, took the guy, and he didn't get that pass out quick enough. And the Grizz, if they go to that offensive attack again, if Eastern slows them down, they won't be able to do that anymore. And that there's a great example of that right there, and the Grizzlies were offside.
Face-off won by the Eagles. Taken off the wall, pushed ahead by Ryan Carew. Back to Carew at his own blue line, thinks about going across the ice, and instead tries to play it up ahead off the wall to Kaiser. Gets just past Reed's stick. Now back on the defensive sticks of the Grizzlies. Montana looking to bring it up ahead. No rush for U of M. Now Florko on the far side, brings it across the blue line, gives it to Kaiser, who loses it almost back to the stick of Florko. And now Nelson knocked down as he went to lay his first hit of the night. The Grizzlies a little bit slower to build out of their own end in this third period.
And I maintain that's when Eastern started to use their body on it, and that will clamp down that openness the Grizzlies are doing, because they know they're going to get hit. Like right there, Smith just laid a nice check on the Grizz, and that's the style that Eastern's really good at. They have the talent to do it, and it works for them.
There you see Thompson again. That time rubbing Irby off the puck. Thompson has his shot stuff. Feeds it out front. Can't get it to Smith. Now Dinwoody through traffic. Bouncing puck out front on the stick of Sean Smith. Actually, that was on the stick of Nick Nelson. Spinning around, delayed call coming against the Grizzlies. So Eastern going to get an opportunity here in the third period. They're 0 for 3 so far on the power play. But 4:58 of the second period. It's going to be Dylan Ferreira taking a 2-minute seat.
Well, but going to the body, what it does to the other team is they're not as free anymore to just go ahead and skate, because they know like, okay, we're going to get hit, and that starts making you second guess what you want to do. And you saw a really nice job by Eastern in the last 3-4 minutes of doing that, and it's really slowed down Montana.
Now here come the Yeeks with some speed. Lusk gains the attacking zone blue line almost. Had to skate parallel to it. Best chops that in. Now Kaiser holds it up. Lusk on the far side. Kaiser saw his man, had it picked out, and Lusk not able to capitalize on that one, but a good thought by the Eagles. Kaiser has it again. Some pressure this time from Orlick. Kaiser going to pass it up ahead, actually, with 1:20 left on the penalty. Carew out behind his net. Slows that one up. First player there was almost Orlick from the Grizz. Some more passing troubles for Eastern Washington. Now parallel to the blue line. There goes Kaiser. He leaves it off for Best. Best near side to Cortez, who can't handle that one. Cortez out front to Best. Blocker away by Hill. Eastern with some new life in this third period.
Well, they're picking up the intensity, and that's a good style for Eastern to do, and they do an excellent job of it.
Kaiser on the right side, cuts it towards the center. Looking to use Hofacker as a screen and puts that wide of the net. Cheney back with it through the legs of Knudsen. And Jaden Hofacker out there again. 20 seconds left on the penalty kill. If you're an Eastern Washington player, you still got to believe that it's possible, just based on how quick that Montana was able to score those 7 goals. But you've got to find the back of the net soon. Knudsen going to take it right to the goal mouth. And Carew holds on to it. Wasn't sure where that puck was, and the official took some time blowing the whistle there. Finally gets it blown at 12:58. Back to 5-a-side hockey.
But Eastern looked a lot better the last 3 minutes, and by playing that style, the physical part of the game has really kind of shifted the momentum right now.
A couple steps towards the goal by Toyala. Finally taken off of the stick of Wilson right at the last minute, back out into the neutral zone. Still in possession are the Grizzlies. Knudsen going to send it back now to Wilson. Wilson has a man, pushes it ahead into the neutral zone. Thompson gets it just across the blue line. And Ferreira trying to get nifty with it. He's waiting for it on the far side. That's where the puck goes. He's going to lay it off right back to Knudsen. Fighting for the puck down in the corner. Knudsen to Wilson. Shot taken off the glass behind the net. Eric's looking to get physical on the near side. Shot off the side of the cage. Grizzlies still with possession in the attacking zone. Carew going to knock his player right off of the puck, but the puck stays right where it was. Now just trying to clear the zone to Smith. That's going to go on to the Eastern Washington bench. They're going to say that it was tipped, so it'll come out into the neutral zone. 11:35 to play here. And it looks like it'll be a high stick, sending Knutson to the box. So Eastern going to get another chance here with the man advantage. 8:25 of the third period as Knutson, 2 minutes for a high stick. Back out into the neutral zone. Florko going to pick it up for the Eagles. Laying it off for Kaiser. Now ahead to Lusk. Lusk stops, changes directions. At the center stripe, he sends it all the way in, rims it around. Kaiser chasing it to the far point, can't hold on to it. And it's going to float back to Florko. Florko over to Kaiser. Looks like he's trying to get to the bench. He's going to hang out on the ice for a couple seconds longer. 1.5 left in the power play. Lusk over to the far side. Kaiser having to fight for it, can't get to it. Lusk going to use his body that time. Now ahead to Joel Lusk. Still on the end of Lusk's stick. Somehow makes a couple of Grizzlies miss. Fires that towards the goal mouth. Blockered away by Hill. Lusk still there, keeping it in. That time was Florko. Bouncing puck right out front. Lusk looking to clear it, or to put it in, and it's cleared at just the last second by the Grizzlies. And now with some speed comes Bulk. And instead he's going to send it all the way back down to the Montana end of the ice. And a stoppage in play here. 6 men on the ice for Montana. So he's starting to get their best chance of the night. A 5-on-3 with 47 seconds left in this initial minor penalty. The Eagles are going to try and mount a comeback. They've got to do something on this 5-on-3.
Well, I think what happened on that one with the Grizz, the player did a nice job of shooting it back in his end to eat some time up, but I don't think the person that was coming off the bench for him realized that's what he was doing, and that's how they got caught with so many players out there.
Eagles win this faceoff, goes back to Cheney. He puts in a shot from distance, dropped straight down by Hill, put back into the crease. Chaos puck bounces back up top to Cheney, who again looking for that shot from distance, just trying to put it into the mixer. Now Cheney chops that back in, can't get it off of the stick of Wagner, who looks to take it in shorthanded. Eagles, 20 seconds left on the 5-on-3, looking to regroup. Frank Flood on the near side, circles back towards his own net. 15 seconds. Coming across the center stripe, across the blue line. Kaiser waiting on the near side, taken off of Flood's stick. He's got Kaiser out front. He's going to go to the far side, looking to feed it back to Kaiser behind the net. Penalty expires for Knutson. Florko tries to play it down the wall. 1:10 left on the 5-on-4. Near side now to Kaiser. Kaiser thinks about it, looking to see where he can go with it. He's going to go across the zone, backhanded back in by Florko. Now with some speed down the far side goes Dittman. He's going to dump it in just as he crosses that blue line. 45 seconds now remain on the power play. Kaiser across the blue line ahead to Hofacker. Hofacker looking to use some speed down back behind the net, looking for Dinwiddie out front. And tried to hand it off to Kaiser on the far wall. That was definitely a play they had drawn up. And now Lusk has to get on his horse. Good defense by Joel Lusk as Orlick brings that down into the corner. Puck right at the top of the crease for Eastern Washington. Now picked up. Looking to make a big hit on the far side was Kaiser. And Wilson slipped past him. Grew doing a good job of holding his own. And now a chance here for Sean Smith. He's all alone. Forehand, backhand, back of the net. Sean Smith, the Halloween hero on a Saturday night. Finding the back of the net for Eastern Washington. 11 minutes and 42 seconds into the third period. That's got to feel good for Smith.
That was pure hustle by Mr. Smith on that one. There was a nice job of Eastern. They used the body, got the puck away, and it was a nice stretch pass, but Smith used his speed on that, and he just shook off the Grizzlies defenseman and did a nice deke at the end and caught Hill going one way, and he put it up on the back end on the top shelf. Nice play by Mr. Smith.
And that was a good heads-up play by Smith. He got in behind the defense and just turned the Jets on.
Yeah, and he used his spit on that one. But then I really liked this deke right in front of the netminder. Got the netminder going to the left, and he went to the right. Nice little backhand shot by him. But see, again, it started with the body that Eastern used in their zone, and then they went back to their wide open game, did a nice little stretch pass, and Smith knew, he anticipated that's where he was going to go, and it was tape to tape on it, and he did an outstanding job, especially that little move at the very end, that little deke. He had Mr. Hill going the wrong way, but I tell you, Jackson Hills played one heck of a hockey game tonight for Montana.
That goal officially coming 11:42 of the third period. Smith from Lusk. You're going to see those two getting their name on the score sheet tonight. That one slapped off of the stick of Flood.
They play well together also, and I think that's because they've both played before with each other, and they kind of know how to read each other, and that was a nice play by both of them.
And that goal officially a power play goal, coming with just 6 seconds left on the power play clock. Sheeny has it back, slaps it right into the stick, that time of Rainford. Still on Rainford's stick, circles up towards the center of the zone. Slapped away. This one's going to come near side to Ferreira. He's going to fire it all the way across the zone where ACHA for the Eagles is going to pick it up. Kaiser sees that one floating through the neutral zone, has it deep in the zone and just off of his stick. Couldn't get close enough to it to make that one last pass, or that one last touch, rather. Takes that one off the stick of the Grizzlies, and then Kaiser's knocked down. Lusk on the far side. Feeds it towards the center of the zone. Great pass if somebody was crashing. Shot, spin around, shot taken again, that time by Malkowski. And it almost seems like that's a shot that the Grizz practice during the week. That's the third or fourth time somebody's received the shot or the puck from the blue line to right at the top of the Pack 8 logo or in the slot. They just turn around and fire it, and they're on net every time.
Well, you got to tip your hat to the Grizz on how they're playing, but I'm glad to see Eastern's playing more of their style, and it's working. They've slowed down Montana tremendously in this period, and they're doing a heck of a lot better. And this is what I'm used to watching them play, because this is Eastern hockey right now. That second period, I'm throwing that out. I don't know what happened.
Now here comes Smith again. He's on the far side, goes between his own legs, backhand pass through the crease. Thompson now takes a shot from the low side. But what a move by Sean Smith there, going between his legs.
Yeah. And he hustles constantly, and Lusk is another one hustle constantly. You can go down the list, but I like what I'm seeing out of Easter right now. They're kind of regrouping and taking care of some business, even though it may be too late, but at least they're playing their style of hockey, and they got so much talent. That second period, it was just an anomaly on what they are, because they got way too much talent to give them any goals up.
And heading into the showcase next weekend, it looks like Easter are going to head to the box here. But heading into the Eagles Nest showcase next weekend, another goal here would be a good confidence boost going against some pretty stellar teams coming into Cheney.
Yeah, but just watching how Eastern's playing right now, they're gaining that confidence back. And I think that came back to them that first minute. They were just throwing their body all over the place, and that definitely took an effect on the Grizzlies' speed. And Eastern's playing a lot better right now.
This will be Eastern Washington's second penalty of the game. Both of them, Sam Thompson for a hook. But if you're looking for tickets, full weekend passes for the Eagles Nest Showcase, just $35. Every team, I believe, going to play 4 games. I may be off on that. But the full schedule posted at EWUACHA.com. That's where you can get your full weekend passes, your single day passes, or your single game tickets. EWUACHA.com. The Grizz back with it now. Low side doing a really good job of cycling the puck through the zone. That one sticked away by Best. Looking to get past the Grizz defense, but that's just going to squirt back towards their own side of the ice. 1:10 left on the Thompson minor. This one fed out front. A little miscommunication by the Grizzlies, and able to hold on to that was Carew. His 9th stop of the night.
But that was a nice time eater up, or I call it, by Best. What he did a nice job was he poke checked it, got it out in the neutral zone, and then rather than trying to battle the Grizzlies player, he just slapped his stick to get the puck further down in Montana's zone. So that was a nice heads-up play by him.
And the Grizzlies finally able to beat Carew, this time with the assistance of a power play. Eastern Washington gave up 7 goals in just over 15 minutes in that second period, and then it took the Grizz another 15 minutes to find the back of the net again. You're absolutely right, Gary. They changed their style of play, and it paid off for them.
Well, they went to their strengths, and that was really confusing Montana quite a bit. And this game would be a heck of a lot closer if you throw out that second period and Eastern played like this. It'd be really a tight hockey game.
This time, Cheney looking to use a little bit of physicality.
Well, because I maintain Eastern has a solid hockey team. They got a ton of talent, and this is just an exception to the rule in that second period for them tonight because way too much talent on this hockey team.
Props to the Montana Grizzlies. A tough game last night. They were able to take an overtime, and then a big win here against the Eagles on Saturday night.
I give them a ton of credit. They definitely changed their style in that second period. They decided just attack, and it worked for them. But again, Eastern went away from what works for them, and now they're getting back to it, and they're doing a better job. Nice job by Carew on that save.
Looked like he got some good help there from Florco at the last moment, too. Able to push the man off just a little bit.
Well, Florco's solid back on the D. He's just a heads-up defenseman.
So 3:16 left to play. I think it's safe to say that Montana probably going to take home the win on this one, but not without some fight left in Eastern Washington in this third period, as Sean Smith was able to find the back of the net 51 minutes and 42 seconds into this game. It's also very unlike Eastern Washington to have so few shots this deep into a game.
Especially with the talent that they have.
Kicked away by Carew. And now Smith looking to make a couple of men miss. He loses that puck, though, as he comes across the blue line and makes the Grizzlies pay for it.
Well, there's no quitting that kid at all. I mean, he just did 2 body checks back to back on that one. There's just no slowing him down. So you got to like Smith's game. But you got to tip the hat to Jackson Hill. I mean, he's really helped the Grizzlies with their confidence tonight with his saves.
Well, it's easy when you know that you've got a backstop like that to play as aggressive as they have been. And now Eastern Washington just throwing the body around. Sam Thompson looking to hit anything that's moving, and that's going to get him a third trip to the sin bin.
And he just hit another Grizzly too. So he's let him know he's not happy right now. But yeah, last night with the goaltenders, with Will Hayes playing so well for the Grizz, and then tonight coming with Jackson Hill, who played just as well, that really helped Montana, especially in that second when they decided to go all offense and no defense. He's the one that backstopped that style, that he could do that, and that's a lot of confidence. Absolutely.
They just sent Sam Thompson to the locker room. I don't know if they're going to give him an unsportsmanlike on top of the 2-minute minor. Nothing on the board just yet.
Well, the second one is he took a punch, and he landed in the face mask of the Grizzlies player, and that's going
to get you sent to the locker room every time.
And that's what happened on that one. But again, the Grizzlies player actually kind of engaged him. He just let him know like he did not appreciate it. So
they're going to give him a double minor. So East are going to be shorthanded for the remainder of this one as Florco going to go take a seat in the box.
We know Eastern's got to be frustrated right now, and so I think some of those things are out of frustration that they're doing because they know they're a talented bunch. This is not like them at all.
Big move there by Carew, disrupting the shooter and getting that puck sent up over the top of the net. That aggressiveness from Thompson early on in this period, I think maybe could have made a difference in this period, but just a little bit too late in this one to be that aggressive. Circling back to that last Montana goal, officially coming 17:34 of the third period, Barrera from Smith. But looking ahead, like we said, to next weekend, we'll start the showcase Thursday night. Carew going to come out and pick that one up.
I think doesn't Eastern, I think they play at 7 on Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken. I was looking at the schedule because I was really intrigued with how many teams are up here.
So day one, starts off at 4 o'clock on Thursday, Wyoming versus Santa Rosa, and then game 2 at 7 o'clock, Eastern Washington versus the Utah Valley University. And then day 2, Friday, 4 games, Gary, starting at noon. Wyoming against Gonzaga, University of Idaho against Utah Valley, and then the Eagles taking on Santa Rosa at 6 o'clock on Friday, an hour earlier than normal. And we wrap up with WSU and Cal at 9 o'clock. You can get your tickets at EWUACHA.com. Full showcase passes, day passes, and single game passes starting at just $10. EWUACHA.com. It's going to be a wild one. Saturday, 4 more games starting at noon. Santa Rosa and Idaho, Utah Valley and Gonzaga, Eastern and Wyoming at 6 again, and WSU and Cal playing again, as those are Pac-8 games. And then Sunday, we got more hockey, Gary, starting at 8 a.m. bright and early. The Cougs and Utah Valley. And then at 11, it'll be Eastern and Gonzaga. That's always a fun cross-town rivalry. Hopefully see some Zags fans here in the stands on a Sunday morning. And wrapping up with Wyoming and the University of Idaho at 2 o'clock.
Well, one good thing, Eastern can get back and start playing the way they did this third period and the first period again. The second period, it was just rough for them. But get some confidence back in, so when they hit the road, they're ready to go again. Because I think they go down to play the Grizz right after that, if I'm not mistaken.
They'll head over to Missoula to take on this team in their own barn, and they'll be looking for some revenge. But not the way the Eagles had hoped today would go after yesterday. One more shot here from the Grizz, and that's going to be deflected wide. That'll do it for the Eagles and the Grizzlies here in Cheney. Tough night for Eastern Washington, but you take out that second period, and this game is much closer than it was.
No question. You guys just throw. So you don't even talk about the second period anymore. You just move forward with it and get ready for the showcase next week.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us here tonight, Gary. We'll be back, like we said, Thursday, ready for that showcase. But tonight, we're going to head on down and get some pizza for our camera gal, Ashley, our graphics gal, Kayla, for Gary Allen, and everybody else here at Eastern Washington University Hockey. My name's Tyler Pisani saying good night, go Eags, and we'll see you at the Barrel House.